Hello and welcome to Smartkarma's corporate webinar. I'm Sanam Nanwani from Smartkarma. This week we are hosting Metrodata Electronics, and we are glad to have with us President Director and CEO Susanto Djaja. We will start the webinar with Pak Susanto walking us through a company presentation, after which he will engage in a fireside chat with Smartkarma Insight provider Angus McIntosh. We are taking live Q&A, so I would like to request our attendees to post your questions in the Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen. During the webinar, we will also share some links on how you can connect with Metrodata and read more research by Angus. So please do keep a lookout for messages in the chat box. I now hand it over to Pak Susanto to walk us through a short company presentation. Pak Susanto, please.
Yeah, thanks for the introduction, Sanam. I would like to present about Metrodata, which maybe everybody knows the code is MTDL. Yeah, just in a brief, yeah, we are a public company in ICT industry. Yeah, we have actually two business units. Number one is distributions, where we are actually Metrodata providing world-class ICT hardware and software distribution. Yeah, either to resellers or to system integrators. Yeah, so actually there will be later on from dealers, resellers selling to the customers, and the system integrators will be selling to the end users, which is corporate customers. Yeah, we have second business unit, solutions and consulting, where you are now currently see that all the trend of the digital transformation, where company would like to do a process of digital transformation. They need infrastructure, they need software, they need services, they need also to do a IT blueprint, security, and from A to Z. So we are more than 47 years in the industry, partnering more than 100 top 10 brands, top 100 brands in the world. Yeah. The management, we have actually here BOC, there are three people, Mr. Chanda Ciputra as the President Commissioner representing from the major shareholder, also Mr. Ben as a Vice President, and also Mr. Tanan is the Independent Commissioner. From the management, we are four people, all four of us actually are non-affiliated to the shareholders or to the commissioners or to other directors. Yeah. Myself, Susanto, there are two of distribution business head is Mr. Agus, solution and consulting, Mr. Shafril, and the group CFO is Mr. Randy. Please. Yeah. Maybe people you like to understand first the corporate structure of Metrodata. Yeah. If you see the blue color, yeah, is the company we're running solution and consulting, including the light blue. Yeah. The red color is running the distribution business. You see, can hear Metrodata Electronics itself, MII Mitra Integrasi, Sinergi Transformasi, and Solutions Indonesia, including the packet systems. We have also have an investment of 20% over there. We are actually do a system integration, system of solution and consulting business, including the new one, Kakafly, on digital marketing solutions. Where the red color, you see Sinex Metrodata Indonesia is a joint venture between Metrodata 50/50 with Sinex Taiwan, yeah, where they also have two subsidiaries, MyIcon and Sinex SMTS. They are all running distribution business. Yeah. Metrodata shareholding structure, if you know, over 35% is from Ciputra Corpora. Yeah, is the founding shareholders and the majority shareholders currently. The second is Media Lengke. Others is public actually. Yeah, there are Mr. Sukarto Buyung. There are also Singapore Pengalian Investment Fund. The management holding only 0.4% and public is 34%. So we actually quite public, and our shares is listed and also traded quite active. Next one. Yeah. If you see the business model, I would like to currently to show our business like distributions. Yeah. And also the solutions and consulting. If you see the top one, solution and consulting, Metrodata, Mitra Integrasi, Solutions, Sinergi, and Packet System, we are acting as a system integrators, where Majority of our hardware, software, and services, we buy directly from the vendor, from principals, and sell the hardware, software, and services to the end user, which is corporate. But some of the hardware and maybe software, we need to buy from distributors, where we can buy distributors from Sinex, Metrodata Indonesia, also from another distributors. SMI business, actually, you can see the distribution business, they are actually commercial products and consumer and mobile products. For commercial products, actually selling to the system integrators, Metrodata, and also other third-party system integrators, actually Metrodata is just only less than 5% of the customer of our distribution business. And for selling laptop, mobile phone, printing, and other accessories, and like CCTV as well, we are selling to the channel partners, where at the end will be sent to the end users, which is more consumer side. This is the business model of Metrodata. I think we are going to for the next slide. Distribution business. This is important. If you see, Metrodata have a wide and modern distribution network, where actually we are covering we are present in 20 locations all over in Indonesia, majority west and central, some of the east. But we are actually covering more than 150 cities in Indonesia. Cities in Indonesia, there is L1, L2, and L3. Majority we are covering L1 and L2 cities. Integrated by the ERP system. So our distribution business is integrated by ERP. Have a digital omnichannel business. And actually we have, if you see the warehouse, we are spread over 20 locations in Indonesia with modern logistic central warehouse in Cibitung, equipped with warehouse management system and transport management system to our dealers or to our channels. Our business portfolio, if you see the center, we are carrying Asus, Lenovo, HP, Apple, MSI, Oracle, Philips, Intel, Dell Technology, Fortinet. Majority of the brand are actually we are carrying. Next slide. This is solutions and consulting. Actually Metrodata have a differentiation compared to another system integrators, where actually we have 8 pillars of solution and services. Number 1 is, which is currently cloud services. Number 2, big data and analytics. If you see also security, hybrid IT infrastructure, business application, digital business platform, consulting services, and also managed services. All the 8 will be actually become the new trend of the IT services that required by the company. And maybe some specialty of Metrodata. We have our solution and consulting business. We have recurring revenue. For each of the year, currently up until first half 2022 is 37%. So 37% of our revenue is recurring. Where is it recurring? Is more for software subscription, maintenance, as well as cloud subscription, and including some services. So I mean, actually, if you see, 37% of all solution and consulting business are recurring, which is good for our more stable business for company. Actually, Metrodata also we are under subsidiary of Celsius. We are a platinum partner of SAP Indonesia. We Metrodata supported by 1,000 consultants with different certifications, different vendors, and different skills, and we have also 600 developers which is working with on the customer side. Our largest of customer are coming from industry, banking and financial services. Number 2, telecommunication. Number 3, oil and gas. But for sure, there are another industry like new startup, e-commerce, and fintech, as well as manufacturing and distributions. If you see the portion of our revenue of solution and consulting, hardware 32%, software 42%, and services 26%. Long time ago, 10 years or 15 years before, hardware is 70%, but now it's actually different. So you need to know company where they can sell more software and services tend to have a better margin rather than selling hardware. But you cannot only sell software and services without selling hardware as well. So you need all of the things. Yeah. Next slide. This is just first half 2022. Yeah, year to the June. If you see the revenue, Metrodata book this year 9.7 trillion against 7.6, grow by 27.5% for this first half. Yeah. Gross profit grow by 15%. Net income grow by 11%. There are some reasons. Maybe I would like to address in Q&A if you have that. If you have that, in terms of revenue composition and net income composition, if you see in 2021, distribution 73%, solution 27%. But this year 74 and 26%, so it's just a bit slightly different. But in terms of net profit, there are some difference, significant difference. Last year distribution 54, solution and consulting 46, but this year for the first half distribution only 40% and solution and consulting 60%. That's why you see there are some decreasing of margin of the net profit of the distribution, but it is compensated by increment of the solution and consulting profit. Yeah, but that's the idea. We are hoping actually 40 to 45% distribution, 55 to 60% solution and consulting for the next trend. And also you need to know condition now are back to the normal. So before, within 2 years, laptop scarcity, but now laptop tend to be a bit oversupply in the market. So it is available. Yeah, means that COVID situation is no more for laptop and PCs. Yeah, but for other products, yeah, still they have sometimes they have still some scarcities. Next slide. Yeah. This is our strategy to win the market for distribution. We are expanding product portfolio. Before we only have 10 type of products, but now we have more than 100 brands. Yeah. The second, we penetrate market not only Jakarta but also outside Jakarta because the growth is there. Yeah. And the second, we also have an opportunity to enter B2G project. Yeah. We have a subsidiary going to B2G, which is My Account Technology under a subsidiary of Sinex Metrodata Indonesia, or often B2G. Maybe this year we are expecting 1 trillion revenue for this one. Yeah. And for the right side, if you see the solution and consulting, there are 3 main strategies. Actually, there are many, but I'm here just only trying to say only 3 things, 3 important things. Number 1. We are targeting and deepening our financial services industry, especially digital banks, super apps, and also BI fast payment. Yeah, BI fast payment, you need the banks to connect to the central bank. They need hardware, they need software, and they need services. And this is recurring multi-year project and will be implemented by large bank, medium to small bank. But I believe this will become Indonesia more digital payment system, more ready rather than before. Yeah. And the second, we are speeding up cloud adoption for our customers. Yeah, you see cloud accounts at 15%. Yeah, total solution and order booking. Yeah, so actually we are cloud reselling. Yeah, so currently we are not selling our own data center, but we are selling Amazon Web Service, Google Cloud, and as well as Microsoft Azure. So the total order booking that we receive now, 15% is for cloud. Yeah. And number 3, we are also would like to increase our recurring income. If you see now 37%, for sure we will become bit by bit to 40% and 45%, and will be ending to 50%. That's the aim for these 3 years. Next slide. I think thanks for the presentation. This is all the presentation. Make it short. So this I will turn it over to Sanam or Angus to continue.
Yeah, no, thank you very much, Pak Susanto. That was very interesting, and obviously you're covering a pretty huge ecosystem, you know, in terms of ICT and solutions and consulting. It might be useful for the audience, for those who haven't come across the company before, just to give a little bit more background about, you know, where the company came from, because you mentioned Sinex, you know, quite a few times. Is that where initially the operation started? Was it with an ICT distribution business? Is that how it originally started?
Okay, so Metrodata was founded April 1975. So that's why we have 25 April 1975. We started, not the name is Metrodata Electronics, Metrodata Indonesia at that time, the first time. Yeah, we are supplying continuous form, which is paper for continuous form, where the business, you need to print the tax invoice and invoices. We have many multiplications sheets, numbers. So this is the first time, and after that we become a distributor of many type of IT products like Wang, and become Acer later on. And that's why we started our business from distributions. At the year of 2000, end of the year of 2010, we are carrying about 10 brands, but we think we need to grow much faster. So we have a joint venture with Sinex Taiwan, which is the largest distribution in Asia Pacific. Yeah, but now currently maybe Sinex Taiwan plus Sinex USA, if you know, maybe if they join, is total #1 in the world. So that's why we can expand our products from 10 brands become 100 brands. So our revenue increased very much from at that time maybe roughly 3 trillion to 4 trillion, now become actually 18 trillion. Yeah, if you see the growth is quite fantastic. That's because of the joint venture. So the joint venture Sinex Metrodata Indonesia is just being converted from our business at the year of 2010, end of 2010. For the solution and consulting, we founded the company Mitra Integrasi at the year 1997.
Why don't we just carry on? So yeah, I mean, just looking at the ICT business, I mean, how is the company sort of positioned? I mean, is it a very competitive environment in Indonesia? Just to get an idea of the company's sort of share and how intense, you know, the competition is, you know, across the space for ICT in particular.
So if you see that our revenue about 18 trillion, yeah, where last year about 75% of distributions, yeah, so about 14 trillion, yeah. 4 trillion is a solution and consulting, yeah. This is the rough idea numbers, yeah. For distribution, we are market leader. Yeah, we are market leader for sure. The #2 from us actually is far behind. So we are quite dominating, especially the notebook and PC market. So maybe notebook and PC, we have from all of the 70% of the top brand in Indonesia, Metrodata is carrying. But we are not exclusive distributions. Yeah. So any type of IT products now currently is not exclusive anymore. Yeah. It's already long time, for more than 20 years, not exclusive anymore. Yeah. But we are dominant. We are market leader. For solution and consulting, yeah, we are still #1, but #2, #3 is not too far. So if let's say our revenue is 4 trillion, 4 trillion something. So maybe #2 is roughly 3 trillion. So the difference is only 20 to 25%, not too much. Yeah, we are, but luckily our industry more targeting on financial industry, telecommunication, and oil and gas, where other people maybe also have a financial industry, manufacturing and distribution, but oil and gas maybe not too much. So that's why maybe in terms of telecommunication, oil and gas, we have a big number plus the financial services, so we can become number one. So I believe because of one of the industry, oil and gas, we are quite long time already in the market with Pertamina, with Chevron, with every people in the oil and gas. That's why we can become the number is number one. Yeah. So actually, in total, we are market leader. For the 2021, I believe Metrodata in technology stocks, yeah, our revenue is the biggest, yeah, and also our profit is the biggest among all the technology listed companies. Yeah, but for the 2022 may be different because you know there are some new another startup company become listed. Yeah, maybe their revenue sometimes can be lower, but their profit can be it's a different situation. Yeah, because they have profit from investment. I say actually our profit is from the business.
Yeah, no, exactly. No,
so it's a different situation. So they don't carry profit from their business. They carry profit from their investment in mutual fund or in some other stocks. Yeah.
Exactly, it's mark to market.
But that's a profit as well, maybe on paper.
Yeah. No, understood. And just sort of taking a step back, it's very interesting that you're obviously leading in both verticals. Looking at the ICT distribution business, just to get a better idea of you know how the sales there are split, you know, between sales to effectively to consumers and sales to the commercial segment, and in fact also sales to your own systems integration. How does that break down?
The breakdown of our distribution business, roughly consumers and telco. Consumers is about roughly 60%. Yeah, commercial maybe roughly about 25%, and another 15% is telco.
Right. So direct.
Yeah, but we Metrodata, from the 25% of commercial business, there are some of the business is going through Metrodata subsidiary, but the total is less than 5% of the total distribution business.
Right, got you. So only 5% effectively.
Less than 5%, maybe just only 3%.
Right, that 3% is effectively just the only amount which is
but
going into.
It is also make Metrodata become more complete solutions. So we're actually one stop where the business, where corporate, where they go to our Metrodata solution and consulting. They can buy everything from laptop to servers, printings, and also the software services, business applications, security, and also super apps and digital business. So that's why it's actually become more complete. But still, our distribution business doing business is independently. Yeah. So that's why we can gain the largest market share in Indonesia.
Yeah, understood. And leading on to the next question which I had was obviously you have a very well developed distribution network. You've got over 5,000 channel partners. You've got more than 3,000 active dealers. I mean, in terms of sort of expanding the business further, I mean, can you expand through increasing the number of channel partners, increasing the number of dealers, or is there a lot of room for distribution expansion to expand your overall sales?
Yeah, so actually we have been expanding our number of products and our number of geographical coverage, within from the year 2010 up until now, and we will be also adding that to, because if you need grow more than the market growth, you need additional products and additional coverage to the geographicals, which is number of channels. If you can see from the slide in here, we have active. We have total channels is 5,200. Where active is 3,700 channels. Yeah. So in every month, 3,700 dealers or channels or resellers are buying Metrodata with digital omnibus. We have many platforms. Can be by B2B, can be by just a normal sales. Just also have many platforms. We have used many technology to reach our customers, and also we have a B2B2C to the e-commerce. So sometimes of our dealers receive order from the individual customer or end users, where actually it is passed to us that we are going to deliver directly to the end users, but it's the revenue of our dealers. So this is some kind of B2B2C API. Yeah. This is also good, even though not to significant number, but it provides to our dealers how to reach their customer more extensive and more wide coverage.
Right, got you. And yeah, I was going to get on to ask about that. Is the expansion of the omnichannel business? You know, what's the strategy to expand that side of things? Obviously, you know, a lot of businesses are going online, and you know, obviously, it's a massively well-developed e-commerce.
Yeah. So we want that our dealers to have many choices. Either they carry their own products, their inventory, and sell to the e-commerce and also sell to offline by their own, but they also can have additional option where they don't have inventory, but we will cover every orders where they get from the e-commerce, where actually already connected to us. We are also handling, which is official brand partners. Sometimes if you see, let's say MSI, yeah, maybe MSI, if the end users directly buy MSI products, actually the delivery fulfillment is coming from us. So actually we are acting MSI to sell their products to the end users directly. You know, sometimes end users, sometimes they want to buy from e-commerce, but they want to buy from the official website, from the official vendors. Yeah, so but vendors is sometimes difficult to handle the individual end users, so that's why they leave it to Metrodata, because we have systems to carry that.
Right. So in effect, you're not B2C, but you're sort of B2B2C. But you are
B2B2C as well. That's why it's a B2B2C as well.
So you're supplying consumers directly if the order.
Yeah, not only MSI product, they have some other brands, but maybe I don't need to mention the number of the brands.
No, that's fair enough. I mean, you know, I think that's another point which is to make clear is that the company isn't distributing directly to consumers for the most part.
Yeah,
you're distributing to other.
We are also preparing now, but during COVID becomes slow. Is the digital kiosks, where if let's say our dealers where they have store, they are offering, let's say 10 type of products. Yeah, but we have a digital kiosk where the customer seems to be buy it from the dealers, but actually the product is carried by us, and later on will be delivered directly to them, as if the customer buy from the store, but actually is from Metrodata. Right. Yeah, that is one of the new strategy will be implemented. Actually, is under process or will be implemented very soon.
And have you got any of these kiosks already in place with any dealers?
Yeah, I think in several months.
Right.
Yeah. So we are preparing that one is already. But this one actually we are trying to provide many omni-channel to our dealers, to our customers. Yeah. Yeah. Because sometimes customer wants is different from A to B to C is sometimes different. You know? Because customers, they want everything.
Yeah. And can you sort of separate out, you know, the origination of orders from offline to online, or is that difficult?
Yeah, because of we have system, our front end channel connected to our ERP, which is SAP. We are running ERP SAP. We can differ. This is sales carried by our sales directly or carried by because of there is online purchase.
And what would you estimate the sort of the online portion would be now?
But That one is sometimes is a bit tricky actually, Angus, because maybe directly less than 1 or 2%. Yeah, but some of our dealers buy from us but sell directly to the in the e-commerce. So maybe I estimate can be 10 to 15% of the distribution business is going online, direct or indirectly, totally. Yeah.
Right. So that's
yeah. But I cannot have exact numbers because actually it's not done by us. You know? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Because our distribution business we cannot touch directly to the end users. So, but I estimate roughly from 10 to 15%.
Right. And you mentioned that you were sort of moving into new product areas. I mean, I think I've read telco products and you're actually also quite strong in gaming products as well. Could you give us a bit of a flavor for those new product areas and which ones are the most important?
Yeah, because of we are carrying laptop. Actually, the gaming products actually the main is the gaming laptop and plus the accessories. Our revenue growth roughly about 35% a year for gaming products. Gaming products, higher margin, higher spec, and the customer is more higher disposable income, higher income to buy those kind of products. And for sure, we will be having a better margin compared to the normal products. Yeah, and that one is a good growth. As well as the telco products, even we are an IT company entering to telecom into smartphone reselling. Yeah, but there may be some smartphone distributor trying to enter IT, but I think that's difficult, a bit quite difficult because of you need people. We have 1,000 consultants with different certifications. But if you want to sell smartphone, you don't need a special certifications. Yeah, so we are selling the Infinix and as well as like Asus mobile smartphone is a bit middle to low end. Why it is become quite good for us, become a good growth, good engine growth to us. Indonesia implementing Peduli Lindungi, Agus.
Yes.
Where the people, if you enter many places, you need to do that. They need smartphones. They need to download apps, and also they need to take a screenshot of. They need to take a scan to the photo. So you need smartphone. Where Indonesia, they have also low level income people. That's why our smartphone touch the lower end, brings our good revenue for us.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the highest sort of growth.
So we have a business smartphone, a business less than 5 years actually.
Right. Yes, I mean that's kind of the.
So we are not really head to head to the biggest giant in smartphone listed company, but we are getting some of their market, some of their pie.
Right. No, that's.
But actually, we are good friends. They are doing very good. We are also doing on our own, but we touch some of the IT of the smartphone market.
Right. Okay. Very good.
In Indonesia, you cannot become one single majority dominant player.
Yes. No. Understood. Well, might move on just to talk a little bit about the solutions and consulting business, which seems to be obviously has gone through a very strong recovery as mobility has picked up. Because I mean, I guess you need people to go and implement, and fit out sort of new solutions and fit the software and etc. So just want to get a bit more of a sort of color on the shape of that solutions and consulting business. Which segments you've talked about? The financial sector, which is obviously very important. You talked about oil and gas, which is obviously very important, and telcos. Those would be the biggest sectors. And are there any other areas where you see quite strong growth?
Yeah, we are talking to the 3 big sectors that we are covering. Yeah, in Indonesia, it's already more than 10 to 20 years. The biggest industry requiring IT purchases actually is financial and telecommunications. those two company, those two industry are heavy investing in IT because they need to run all of their business by by IT, digital, and now become digital. Many digital payments, including the telecommunication. Actually, is they need to deploy many networking, and also they need more IT products in their for their own actually. Yeah. Number 3, regarding oil and gas. Yeah. Before I touch more deeper on the financial system. Yeah. Oil and gas, by the rules, their purchases are doing on rental, Agus.
Right.
So if they buy PC, if they buy means actually software, or they buy servers, they need to buy in rental because of the rules. If they don't buy rental, it will be belong to the government, because they are actually under some kind like a contract production sharing. If so where they buy rental products, mean the supplier like us, you need to have a higher capital, because you will receive the revenue monthly or at least quarterly in 3 years or 4 years, but you need to invest the equipment in advance. Not many players can do this kind of business. Yeah. So because of actually it's by design, the oil and gas, they will always buy anything rentals. For financial industry, especially within this the last 5 years, actually the financial industry, the banking, are disrupted by the fintech, where the payment system, you can see digital wallet payment. Actually, that brings the bank would like to become a digital banking as well. If not, the customer will, at the low end side, the payment system will be taken by fintech.
Yeah.
So that's why they need to invest many kind of services, become more digital. Before, if you need to make payment of taxes, yeah, you need to come to the bank. But now they use the internet banking, mobile banking, or they need to use and any type of services actually is done by the customer, so they don't have to replicate to do administration anymore. So to make it real, we Metrodata, as we bring the digital business platform for them. And also we currently, because of the central bank, have a blueprint for BI fast payment need to be implemented because of 24 hours by 7 and also less expensive. Yeah. So it is started by large bank and will be followed by medium bank and maybe by small bank. So it is a multi-year contract where you need more infrastructure, you need database, software, and also services implementation. Yeah, where Metrodata become one of the player. Yeah, we are not the largest player of this one, but maybe one of the significant player. So that's why financial services, telecommunication are heavy invest in IT. They need. It is not like property business. Property business, they don't need IT quite heavy. Yeah, what they need a land bank, they need a design. But if for banking, they need IT, because all of the transaction now is not done by tellers, done on the electronic channels. And you see, 10 years before, banks are trying to compete to open branches, but now they are closing branches. It's a different situation.
Right. I mean, I think obviously that's as you mentioned was the kind of rise of all these digital banks is not a one-off, but it's a long-term story, and there are quite a number of them obviously trying to enter the market. Whether they'll all be successful is difficult to say, but there's an awful lot of new digital banks being set up. And as you say, the offline banks have already making very strong efforts to build their own digital capabilities. But I wasn't aware that Bifast would be a multi-year project. Is that's the case? Is it? It's quite a because I mean, I've done transfers using Bifast and it's all very efficient, but I wasn't aware it was quite such a long had a long life to it.
Why it is multi-years? Because your hardware, you need the software database. Well, once you subscribe a database and the software, you need to pay annual maintenance to the vendor through us. So, Angus, if you use Microsoft Office 365, you need to pay it monthly or pay it yearly. Yeah. So become once you still are using, you are still not paying. Like you subscribe the Apple which is the storage. You have to pay up until you never use it anymore.
That's right, and I guess that would explain why the portion of recurrent income for your
become more stronger. Yeah,
is stronger. And I mean, what are the main drivers of that recurrent income? I mean,
the recurring income, the main driver number one is the cloud subscription. Yeah. Number two is the software subscription. Number three is the maintenance. Maintenance means that software maintenance and hardware maintenance. Yeah, this is all the drivers. For cloud subscription, for sure you will be paying on period. Yeah,
yeah.
Because when you store your data on the cloud and you store your software application on the cloud, you need to pay the infrastructure because you don't have your own hardware anymore. Yeah, where actually it helps customer. It helps customer to have a less capital expenditures, but they will use it like OPEX, operating expense. Yeah. So actually, some of us, either you need to invest, either Metrodata to invest or the vendor to invest, but the customer is for the beneficial of the customers. So customer now have choices. You want to buy your own hardware, you run the application, we implement. We can, or you want to implement your application on the cloud. We can bring the application on the cloud, so the customer doesn't have to buy the hardware anymore. But now the trend, customer are say, okay, I don't want to be headache to maintain my hardware anymore.
Right. So they'd rather be using a third-party data center provider,
which is either data center, so they need system integrators like us. Yeah. Because they cannot only subscribe the cloud without the application. Yeah, because they need application and services running on top of the cloud. Yeah, of the data center.
Right. So you're sort of acting in a sense as the middleman in that process.
Yeah. As the middle and also the implementer.
Yeah. And the implementer of it, yeah.
Because in this kind of business, corporate, you cannot go everything directly to the vendor. The vendor will never take care of you.
Yeah. No,
they just want to sell, so that's why they need partners.
Yeah. And would you consider investing in data centers, or is that too capital intensive?
That's one of the thinking that Metrodata with our major shareholders, Ciputra Group in property, to start a discussion with international player on data center business. We consider that.
Right, and that would be in a joint venture type of arrangement.
In a joint venture type, because we need expertise from international player. Yeah.
No, understood. I mean, there are obviously a number of local players who are building data centers, but the international players are only really just starting, are they not?
Yeah, the market is still growing. So I mean, maybe still not enough up until later on. So maybe there will be another player coming in. Yeah.
Right. Very good. Yeah, because that's potentially a very
because if you imagine, majority of the customer where their existing hardware, they don't want to refresh anymore and they want to go to the cloud. That becomes actually people moving to the cloud. Like actually payment before, when you pay cash to the counters where you buy food and drinks, now you are going to pay by GoPay and OVO. That's the trend. If you see, this is the same thing actually. So they move from physical payment become digital payment. Okay.
Well, exactly, and I think most of the banks now are offering QR code payments and such like as well. Quite apart from the fact you've got multitude of different digital payment operators.
Yeah, because currently the fintech are touching the consumer business of the banks. Then they haven't touched the corporate business.
Yeah,
corporate business are still dominating by the bank. But one day, if they don't move, if they don't change, their corporate business will be also being threatened later on.
Yeah. Understood. So well, that's very interesting. And just in terms of we've got about a few minutes to go, but just to get a feel for your sort of expectations for the coming year, you did mention you might explain some of the first half results, because obviously you've seen the portion coming from solutions and consulting has done very, very well in the first half of the year. 60% of profits. And I think you said your long-term balance might be a 45-55% split. But yes, I mean, just to give an idea, what are your expectations for this year in terms of growth?
Our expectation for this year, top line grow minimum 15%. For the bottom line, the growth is ranging from 15 to 20%. Because of last year, we already grow quite heavy. We grow our revenue more than 40%, and also the profit more than 30%. Actually, roughly about 40%.
Right, and the improvement in margins effectively is coming from a sort of swing in terms of the balance a little bit towards the solutions and consulting business. Is that right?
Yeah. But it can be different on the other year. Yeah, because sometimes distribution will be having. Last year, distribution having a good time, solution also having a good growth, but the growth is lower than the distribution. But this year is solution and consulting. Yeah. So since we have two business, it is also a good diversification. Yeah.
Yeah.
Where if you see in the market, not many players can play both.
Yeah. Yeah. And just to explain, what would you say are the sort of biggest risk factors out there? I mean, obviously there are lots of a lot of issues globally with higher inflation.
The risk factors for distribution, if we have obsolete inventory and also bad receivables, but so far is controllable and good. Yeah, even actually last year we are having a very, very low inventory level and very low of receivables level. That's why last year we have zero debt actually, Angus.
Yeah.
So first time for Metrodata in history become zero debt is the last year, end of 2021. We have zero debt. Yeah. That's the risk of the distribution business. For solution and consulting, the risk is more on the project's risk and also the human resources.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. You need high skilled people, and you need to maintain them, and also you need to grow to hire more consultants and developers to deploy more of the projects to the customers. Right. But Metrodata have many sourcing. We even have Metrodata Academy, where working with the universities to offer one semester for their students. They don't need to go to the school. They have working with Metrodata, so they can replace this credit, become their credit. That one also become our sourcing as well. Actually. So actually in terms of number of our people, about 50%, Angus, our human resources is the age of 20 to 30. Right. 20 to 30 is 50%. Yeah. Another 30% is the range of age of from 31 to 40. So 80% our human resources is less than 40 years old.
Right. Well, that's very good. It's good to have a young.
There is a good. There is also a bad situation. There are some negative aspect lah. Younger generation tend to move company easily.
Right.
But you need to have a good balance. Balance.
Yeah. Agreed. I mean, I guess that also plugs into a positive sort of tick in an ESG box. The fact that you're providing education and so on, for younger generation.
Yeah. It is some kind of like ESG as well.
Exactly. Well, I think we're probably, thank you very much for you know, very interesting discussion. And you know, we now reached the kind of end of our time, but very, very interesting. Yeah, thank you very much, President Susanto, and I'm sure we'll speak again soon. I'll hand proceedings back to Sanam to.
So maybe my closing, actually, for Metrodata, everything is digital. Digital is everything. Okay, back to the Sanam.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Angus, for some very interesting questions, and a big thanks to Pak Susanto for a detailed insight into Metrodata Electronics, the challenges in the ICT sector, and opportunity for Metrodata. I would also like to thank our attendees who joined the session live. With this, I would like to wrap up this week's corporate webinar. Thank you again, and have a great week ahead, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.